Hey, so for those of you who've been following me for a while, you probably know I'm an American expat living in Germany. And watching the news over there for the last little while, it's just like things have changed in America so much in the last 10 years. It's just, like night and day from the America that I grew up in. And as a woman, it just is mind-boggling how so many women could not support other women, and how many especially white evangelical women voted for Donald Trump because he was the religious rights endorsed candidate. And you know what, y'all? The religious right in America wants women to go back to being slaves. They want you barefoot pregnant in the kitchen. They don't want you to vote. They don't want you to have a job. They don't want you to have any recourse if something bad happens to you. They want you to be your husband's property. That is what they want, because that is how women live for thousands of years. And the patriarchy has been enforced through the Christian faith for a lot of those years. And you know what? It's not based in the biblical text either. It is based when the syncretism of Christianity as the official religion of Rome under Constantine in 325 AD. This was not what Jesus wanted. Jesus had a lot of women actually in his ministry, and several that were basically considered disciples, especially like Mary Magdalene. There was a gospel of Mary Magdalene that was deleted out of the Bible at, you guessed it, when Christianity became the religion of Rome. And when religion and politics fuse, both of them are just enforcing the patriarchy. They are enforcing the elite subjugating everybody else. And if you're not the 1% of those rich white men, they want you slaves again. Just like the beginning of America, because at the beginning of America too, you know who could vote? You know who freedom and equality were meant for? That was only meant for rich white men who owned land. So everybody else, y'all wouldn't have been able to vote at the beginning of America either. So I delve into a lot of these topics, slavery, marriage, religion, and the syncretism of all of those in the religious right, and how this movement got founded, going back all the way back to the founding of Judaism, in my new book, The Slavery of Women. And you can get it. There's a link in my bio. Just check it out. It links to all my books there, and it's the very top one. So if you are a woman, right now is a critical time for women supporting women. And especially if you have anyone in your friends or your family that is a religious woman that voted for Trump, this is a time to be talking to her and to be giving her those facts and to let her know that, you know what? If you want to be a spiritual woman, you can be a spiritual woman without abandoning who you are. You can follow the words of Christ 100% without abandoning your sister women. Because you know what Jesus told us was the top 2 commandments in the Bible? He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. And when they asked him, who is my neighbor? He gave the parable of the Good Samaritan, which, if you're not familiar, there was a man that was beset by robbers. He was on the side of the road. He was left there. And 2 religious leaders walked by him. They crossed to the other side of the street. They just kind of gave him the look, and then they kept moving on. And a traveler who is not a Jew, he was a Samaritan, which was kind of looked down on in that region at the time. He was the one who helped that man. He took him to an inn, he fed him, he clothed him, he paid for his stay until he was well. So you know what? Who Jesus says is your neighbor is the person who helps other people. So if you want to truly say you have Christian values, you need to help other people. And right now, women, that is women supporting women. Because if we all come together as sisters, and women aren't really a minority. Women are 51% of the population. And, if we all stuck together, instead of standing by your man, if you stood by your sister women, the world would change in about 5 minutes. So let's make it happen, ladies. Women supporting women. Love you.